Well, hello again there, trainers. This is Brian, the 3 Topics Gamer, here to do another one of my worst to best ranking videos. And this one is to serve as a follow-up video to my last ranking video I did last week, in which I ranked from weakest to strongest all of the Kanto Pokemon Gym Leaders. Now, for this particular video, we will now be doing a personal ranking of weakest to strongest in terms of my favorite region in the Johto region of Pokemon. Now, if you do happen to enjoy this little ranking video of mine, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep track of all my future videos. And remember, if you guys have any ideas for future videos, whether it's ranking, reactions, or just reviews in general, please let me know what you would like to see in the comments down below, and I will try to get it up as soon as I can. And I'll be sure to leave a little tab somewhere over here, just in case you haven't seen the prior video. So I would check out that video first, then come to this video. Now, to help me do my own personal ranking, I brought 2 little friends of mine. First, this is, of course, Lugia, who is not only one of my top 6 favorite Pokemon of all time, he is also my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. And this little beauty here is Chikorita, who is my favorite starter Pokemon of all time. And I don't give a damn what any of you people say who claim that Chikorita sucks. You can all just go straight to hell. So, without wasting any more time, Lugia and Chikorita are going to help me do my ranking of all of the Pokemon Johto Gym Leaders, starting from the weakest. Now, before I start, I would just like to state right now that this particular list is based off my own personal playthrough of Pokemon Soul Silver and having Chikorita as my main starting Pokemon. So with that out of the way, starting at the bottom of the list, the weakest Pokemon Gym Leader in the Johto region has to go to the very first Gym Leader, and that is Falkner, the Bird Gym Leader. He is carrying a level 7 Pidgey and a level 9 Pidgeotto. Now, depending on what your starter is, you could have certain levels of difficulty. Now, unfortunately for my Chikorita, that is obviously not a good choice for this fight. You could choose to pick up a Geodude at a nearby cave, but the Pidgeotto would be a problem with that with its Mud Slap. So, the best recommendation would be to get a Mareep and simply take down his Pidgey and Pidgeotto with simple Thunder Shocks. You could easily one-shot them, so that is why Falkner is by far the easiest and weakest gym leader in the Johto region. Taking the number 7 spot is Jasmine, the Steel Pokemon Gym Leader. She is bringing 2 level 30 Magnemites and a 35 Steelix. Similar to Falkner, this is the kind of gym leader that if you have the right Pokemon, you could easily one-shot all of her Pokemon in one go. Now, as these are steel Pokemon, they are vulnerable to fire. So if you happen to pick Cyndaquil as your starter, then you probably have a good advantage in this fight. The disadvantage for the Johto region, I would say in my opinion, is that there really aren't too many really good fire types outside of only 2 options. You could waste your time and try to get Entei, but I would recommend you would just go into the Burning Tower and capture a Magmar. Then you could go to Goldenrod City, buy the Fire Blast TM, and at that point, with a little bit of leveling up, you could probably teach your Magmar Fire Punch. So use 2 Fire Punch to knock out the Magmite, then use a Fire Blast to take out the Steelix, and you could easily one-shot all of Jasmine's Pokemon with really only 1 Pokemon, which is why she takes the number 7 spot on my list. Taking the number 6 spot is going to have to go to Price, the Ice-type Pokemon Gym Leader. He is bringing 3 Pokemon, a Seal, a Dugong, and I believe, Polyswine. This fight is also pretty easy if you've constructed your team well enough. You could use a Grass type or a Thunder type to take out the Seal. You could go to a Thunder type to take out the Dugong, and if you still have your Fire type, you can use it to take out the last Pokemon. So, and heck, at a good enough level, you could easily one-shot all 3 of his Pokemon in one go. So, yeah, I would say Price is pretty much not that difficult if you know how to construct your team, which is why he takes the number 6 spot on my list. Taking the number 5 spot is going to have to go to Chuck, the Fighting-type Gym Leader. And I have to say, I'm absolutely floored at how this team is only comprised of 2 Pokemon. All Chuck is bringing is a Primate and a Poliwrath. This guy is a fighting-type gym leader. Where's the Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan? Or, heck, give me a Machoke or Machamp. I think at minimum he should have had 3 Pokemon, because just dealing with the Primate and the Poliwrath isn't really all that difficult. I mean, a Primate can be taken out by any flying type, and a Poliwrath can be taken out by a Thunder or Flying type. That gives you a lot of options in order to deal with just his 2 Pokemon, which doesn't make him all that impressive, which is why he takes number 5 spot on my list. Taking the number 4 spot is going to have to go to the second gym leader, Bugsy, the bug-type Pokemon gym leader. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking, what the heck are you talking about? Or you're probably laughing, but allow me to explain. On a personal level, I do have a genuine fear of bugs. And although when you really look at her team, it really isn't all that impressive with a mixture of a Metapod, a Kakuna, and a Scyther, it's just how I build my teams. It's just not a very good combination to go against Bugsy. I mean, sure, the Metapod and the Kakuna, those aren't very difficult to deal with, but when I'm carrying just my Mareep, my Chikorita, if I haven't already evolved it into a Bayleaf or maybe a Geodude, it's just not a good combination. I mean, Bayleaf's going to get knocked out fairly quickly. Thunder's really not all that good against bugs. And Geodude, it's going to be a slugging contest. So, yeah, it's not the hardest gym leader, but with just how I construct my team, since I typically don't get a flying type, it could go either way. And on a few occasions, I actually have lost to Bugsy because of the Scyther. But, yeah, that's why I feel she's pretty well deserving of the number 4 spot on my list. Taking the number 3 spot on my list is, oh my god, it's Whitney. Now, as a 90s kid, I can vouch that this woman to this day is feared, because while the Clefairy can be a bit of a wild card with its use of metronome, the reason why this woman has haunted the dreams of young Pokemon trainer for over 20 years is for one reason. That damn fat pink cow Miltank. This creature is the stuff of nightmares. Anyone who has taken this woman on knows that the reason you need to be scared is for 2 reasons. Its ability of attract to stop your Pokemon from attacking, and rollout, which if allowed to be used over multiple turns can easily one-shot your Pokemon and wipe out your entire team in one go. It has taken me multiple times in order to take this damn cow down. And boy, is it a satisfying feeling when you finally get the job done. But that doesn't change or get rid of the nightmares and memories I have of trying to take this cow down. Which is why Whitney takes the number 3 spot on my list. Taking the number 2 spot on my list is going to have to go to Morty, the ghost-type gym leader. And I gotta say, he actually has a pretty impressive and tough team if you don't have the right team to back you up. He is bringing a level 21 Ghastly, a level 21 Hunter, a level 23 Hunter, and a level 25 Gengar. Now, up to this point, I usually have a Kadabra that I could fall back on, and he usually is able to one-shot the Ghastly and 2 Hunters. But I believe that because the Gengar has a speed advantage, for whatever reason, he usually gets Hypnosis on my Kadabra and is able to knock it out. And from that point on, I think because the Gengar has always had a speed advantage over all of my Pokemon, he typically is able to knock them out one by one with a combination of the Hypnosis and the Dream Eater ability. And I'm not the kind of trainer who likes to use items in battle, so while I have been able to have a lot of success against Morty, I won't deny that I certainly have lost a good amount of matches when I've taken him on, regardless of the configuration of my team, which is why he's more than deserving of the number 2 spot on my list. Taking the number 1 spot and the hardest Pokemon gym leader for me to deal with during my Pokemon Soul Silver playthroughs has to go to the last and final gym leader in the form of Claire, the Dragon type trainer. Now, she's bringing a really strong team of 2 Dragonairs at level 38, a Gyarados at level 38, and a Kingdra at level 41. Now, really, by this point, the only Pokemon I have on my team that has an Ice attack is my own Red Gyarados using Ice Fang. But because the Dragonairs have a speed advantage over him, he might be able to take out one of them, but then he usually gets taken down by the other, and I have to fall back on one of my other Pokemon to take out the Dragonair. Once the Gyarados shows up, I just fall back on my primary Thunder type, who can knock it out with one hit. But then I have to deal with the Kingdra, and the Kingdra has really always been difficulty, especially when it's using its ability to make itself a difficult target to hit. And without my Gyarados to take it out with Ice Fang, it really just becomes a slugging contest. And unlike a lot of other trainers, she actually will give her Pokemon a Hyper Potion, giving her Kingdra even more life to make the fight even harder. So yeah, I think a combination of her team, construction, all of them having a speed advantage, and her willingness to use potions makes her, at least in my personal experience, the hardest gym leader to take down in the Johto region. So that is our ranking of all the Pokemon Johto Gym Leaders from our experience from weakest to strongest. Now, if you've had a chance to play any versions of the Johto games, whether it be Silver, Gold, Crystal, or Soul Silver, or Heart Gold, I would like to know, how would you rank these gym leaders? Share your list with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and we will all see you next time.